Hello friends, I am FIDE instructor Atul Dahale and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's often a very interesting question which comes across every chess player, that which pieces to keep on the board and which pieces to exchange from the board. And sometimes I also feel that thing, like what to do exactly in that position. But if you pay attention to some details in the position, then you will get to know that, oh, if I keep this piece on the board, then it will be beneficial for me. And if I exchange this piece on the board, then it will be difficult position for my opponent. And it all comes down to the pawn structure, guys. Okay, you need to understand what is the pawn structure on the board, and regarding that, the pieces which should be kept on the board or exchanged will be decided quite easily. And the game which we are going to see today shows us the value of the pieces quite evidently. In this game, Rossolimo will be the black player, okay? And in this game, what happened is, like, opponent's bishop which was sitting on the original square, he goes and exchange that bishop, okay? Just because after the exchange, opponent's the only bishop which is left on the board, the light square bishop, will be a bad bishop against his very powerful knight on the board. So what really happened in this game, like how did he take advantage of his good knight on the board, we are going to see in this game. So guys, do like this video and share this video if you like this, and if you have any comments or like anything like that, then do comment in the comment section. Okay, so let's start with this game. Here Barden was white, he starts with e4. Okay, and one more thing before we go further, if you are new here to my channel, then do subscribe to my channel. Okay, so now c5 was played by Rossolimo. One thing I want to tell you about Rossolimo is, like, there is a famous opening that is e4 d6 and bishop b5. Okay, this opening is named after Rossolimo, okay, Sicilian, but this was not played in the game. In this game d4 was played, then c into d4, then knight captures on d4, knight f6, knight c3, and now a6. This is the Nadorf opening, everybody knows Sicilian Nadorf, and this is also my favorite opening. Okay. So f4 is played. Okay, here in this position, if you go for e5, then it will be said like, okay, this is the Sicilian Nadorf opening. Otherwise, if you play e6, then this is converted into Sicilian Scheveningen opening. Okay, then e6 was played, bishop to e2, then queen c7. Obviously this move is played as a waiting move also. And one more thing is there, you are doing something on this file. Another thing is that you are controlling the e5 square. That's why queen c7 is a useful move in this position. So white plays castles. Okay, after castling, black plays knight to c6, is attacking the knight on d4, which is very nicely placed in the center of the board. Bishop e3, white supports the knight, then bishop d7. You might be feeling that why white is not playing his bishop to e7. Well, bishop e7 is also a possibility, nothing wrong with that move, but instead of playing bishop e7, he goes for bishop to d7, because now he is preparing for knight into c3. If in case if it's played, then bishop will capture the knight and his bishop will be on this good diagonal. Okay, so this might be happening on the board very soon, so just pay attention to this thing. Now white says, like, okay, he needs to do something in this position because he has already castled, his pieces are developed, so he goes for the g4 move. And many a times when I play this Sicilian opening, my opponents play g4 move, and it feels like quite intimidating. Like, what is he doing? Is he going to just crush me? Is he going to just attack on my king and the game will be over very soon? No, actually I will tell you one thing which you need to follow in your games, because in Sicilian openings, it's quite common that your opponent is going to attack on the king side or the queen side. Especially if you are black, your opponent is going to attack on your king side. So in such situations, what you need to do is, like, it is like a thumb rule. Okay, the flank attack should be countered with the center breakthrough. Now flank attack means what? The king side or the queen side attack should be countered with what did I say? You need to counter it with the center breakthrough, means this kind of breakthroughs should come on the board. So here black understand that thing. Okay, so he first captures the knight on the d4 square, which is a very important piece on the board. Bishop captures on d4, and now this bishop, which was not doing that great job on the d7 square, arrives on the c6. Now you can clearly see that if this pawn progresses forward, then white's king will be under pressure, correct? So he cannot really do that thing. So here white plays bishop to f3, and as I said earlier, the flank attack, before he starts, or you can say before it gets the momentum, you need to break through in the center of the board. So here Rossolimo goes for the e5 move. and this is the right way to play in this position. And of course, like if you capture here, then this capture and the bishop will go back on e3 or f2, wherever you want to play, and this bishop will be opened up and black should be happy in that case. That's what I will say. Okay, so now bishop to e3 was played in the game. Of course, you need to wait for this, and now here black is not in any hurry to capture here. Okay, you can capture, but usually I play this move only when I am kind of ready to play knight d7, knight e5 to control the e5 square. Right now I don't want to play it because I can play a waiting move, or you can say a developing move, bishop e7, preparing for the castles. Okay, now here of course g5 is a possibility which can be played. And after g5, what to do? Well, we need to play our knight to d7 square. And now if you play f5, which is also a very interesting idea, now you might say like, okay, now black is in trouble, but actually he can start his own counter play with the moves like h6. Okay, and now after g into h6, the thing is that here black will be getting this file, one thing is there. Okay, and now the knight will be coming back to f6 square, putting some pressure on e4 square, and at any point if white goes for knight to e5, then we can obviously capture here, and if this is captured, obviously queen d5 is much more better. But in case like if ed5 is played, then the knight will be coming on f6 square, or the move which was actually played in the game. I'm not going to say that move right now, that is also a useful move, but okay, I think it's necessary. We can even play bishop g5, trying to exchange this bishop, and then good knight against the bad bishop position will be happening on the board. Okay, so here g5 was not played, f5 was played in the game, and after f5 you can notice one thing on the board, that the light square pawns are there, right, and the light square bishop is there from the white side. So in this position, if you like put your logical thinking there, then you will understand that if you manage to exchange white's dark square bishop, then he will be left with the bad bishop. Why this is a bad bishop? Because it is restricted, because his own pawns are there on the light square, and that should be your plan of action. Okay, now here black goes for. So guys, this is the position where I feel like white should be in trouble if white's dark square bishop is exchanged. Okay, I think that's fair enough. And one thing is there from the black side, this is the problematic bishop. This is not having any space, and we need to focus on exchanging this dark square bishop. So how did he do that? First things first, here black needs to play h6 in order to stop this g5 move. Now g5 is stopped, so white goes for queen to d2. Okay, now black plays b5 because he needs to do something on the other side of the board. Now white plays rook a d1, very normal move. Black also develops the piece here, rook to c8. One thing I want to tell you, that you should not hurry to castle in this position. Okay, because if you castle, then you are giving some chances to your opponent to launch his attack on the king side very quickly. Maybe g5 might be one of the possibilities, or the sacrifices like bishop into h6 might come on the board after some time. Right now nothing is happening, but it is like the invitation to your opponent, so you should not go for this. Your king is kind of safe in the center of the board, so you can just keep it there. Okay, just wait for a while. So until that time you can develop your pieces. So rook c8 is played, a3, now queen d7. Black is putting more pressure on the e4 pawn. Okay, now white needs to support it. He plays queen to d3, and now what to do? Yes, we need to take care of the bishop on e7. So he plays knight to d7. The idea is quite clear, that black wants to play bishop g5 and exchange this bishop. Okay, but before we go further, we need to see that d6 pawn will be hanging, so we need to take care of that pawn also. Okay, and here in this position, white actually made a little bit inaccurate move. He played b4. Okay, after b4, what happened is like the c4 square is now weakened, and white is going to pay for that thing. So he plays knight d6, knight b6, going for the c4 square. Okay, now bishop c1 is played, and now the most important move which I was talking about until now comes on the board. Knight c4, then knight d5, bishop captures on d5, e captures on d5. So the tension of the d6 pawn is gone. There is no attack on the d file, and now it's time to exchange our bad bishop with the move bishop g5. And after this bishop g5 move, okay, this bishop is 100% going to be getting exchanged. This is sitting on the like completely original square, you can say, but still black is going for the exchange. This is what you need to understand while playing the game, which piece to keep on the board, which piece we need to exchange. Okay, so now he plays rook f e1, queen e7. No need to just capture bishop into c1. You can play some useful move also, because after the exchange we might be controlling this squares also with our queen. So queen e7 comes, bishop e4. Well, this bishop is not going to go anywhere. All the pawns are on the light squares, all means the important pawns on the light squares, so bishop will not be having any squares to move around. So he plays bishop to e4, then bishop into c1, rook into c1, and now he plays h5, because we need to open up the position on the king side. Okay, now queen g3 is played, h into g4, queen into g4, and now queen f5. You can see these pawns are actually the friends of black side, I'll say. And one more thing is there, rook h4 is going to come on the board very soon, and if it's possible for black will play king e7, followed by this rook will also join on the h file, and white will be in danger. Okay, so bishop d3 is played, rook h4, as I mentioned earlier, queen goes to g3 square, and now here he plays knight b6, because okay, knight b6, knight into a3 was also a possibility, but he plays knight b6 because he doesn't want to exchange the knight exactly in this position. So rook e4 is played. Well, you don't need to exchange the rooks, you should keep it on the board. Now rook to h5, rook g4, and now he captures the pawn on d5. Okay, fair enough, black has got the pawn, he captures the pawn on g7, knight comes on the f4. So now you can see the knight is dancing on the dark squares, and white is feeling a little bit helpless in this position, like what to do in this case, right? Okay, he gives us check, king goes to d7 square, one rook is exchanged, that's fine, no problem, queen g8 check, and now he plays king b7. The king is kind of safe in this position, no need to worry about this thing, because even if he gives the check, then d5 is coming. And another thing is that after you save the bishop, rook g5 check, and the queen will be lost. This is the main threat on the board, and the king on g1 is just going to get checkmated very soon, guys. Okay, he tries to save himself with king to h1, but now queen h6 move comes. Well, queen h4 was also a possibility, but queen h6, the idea is quite clear that rook into h2 is going to come. He saves it, queen to g1, and now knight into d3. Why is he playing this move? Because he has a very simple and interesting idea. The tactical shot is going to happen after c into d3. Can you guess the move? I hope you have seen the move. That is rook into h2 check. Now queen must capture, and now queen will come on c1, like we will capture the rook on c1, queen into c1, and whatever you play, the queens are going to get exchanged. And after the exchange of the queens, black is just piece up in this position, pawn up in this position, and he will bring the king forward, and it should be winning position for black. So he just resigned when queen into h2 was played. Rook into h2 was played. He just resigned in this position. I hope that you enjoyed this quick instructive game played by Rossolimo, and do like this video, share this video with your friends also, and we'll be meeting very soon with some interesting and instructive game, guys. Till that moment, take care, goodbye, and love you all.